Welcome to HD Old Coins 51, your ultimate destination for rare and fascinating coins from around the world. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, we bring you high-definition videos, expert insights, and historical stories behind every coin. Subscribe and join us as we explore the hidden treasures of numismatics, one coin at a time. Top 1. Today, we're diving into a classic piece of American coinage that has captivated collectors and history enthusiasts for nearly a century, the 1925 Buffalo nickel, or as it's often called, the Indian head nickel. A coin that symbolizes the spirit of the American frontier, rich with stories of craftsmanship, challenges, and a glimpse into life nearly 100 years ago. Let's take a closer look at what makes this 5-cent piece so iconic and why collectors today value it so highly. Our story begins in the early 1900s. The United States wanted a fresh design to reflect the character and values of the country. Out with the Liberty head, and in with something that would honor the heritage and history of the land. Thus, the Buffalo nickel was born. Designed by James Earl Fraser, the coin was introduced in 1913 and featured two striking images, an American bison on the reverse and a Native American chief on the obverse. These two images together symbolize the wild spirit of America, a nod to the frontier days that were slowly fading from memory. Fraser's design was deeply personal and patriotic. The Native American portrait is believed to be a composite of several tribal leaders, representing resilience and the diversity of indigenous culture. And the buffalo, or American bison, embodies strength, survival, and the heart of the plains. If we zoom in, we can see the intricate details Fraser worked into the coin. The feathers in the chief's headdress, the gaze that seems to look beyond the present, and on the reverse, the bison standing solid and proud. In fact, Fraser based the buffalo on a real-life bison named Black Diamond, who lived in the Central Park Zoo in New York. In 1925, these nickels were produced in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia coins have no mint mark, while those from Denver and San Francisco bear a small D or S below the denomination on the reverse. Over 35 million nickels were minted in Philadelphia alone, while the numbers were significantly lower in Denver and San Francisco, making those coins scarcer and often more desirable for collectors today. One of the most fascinating and frustrating aspects of the Buffalo nickel series is how quickly these coins wore down. The design, although beautiful, featured raised details that faded quickly from circulation wear. By the 1920s, many Buffalo nickels had lost the date, making the 1925 and other early issues particularly hard to find in high-grade condition. So, how much is a 1925 Buffalo nickel worth today? Well, it depends on the mint mark and the condition. A worn 1925 Philadelphia nickel might be worth just a few dollars, but coins in higher grades can fetch a premium, sometimes hundreds of dollars at auction. The rarer Denver and San Francisco mintages in good condition can bring even more, with high-grade coins occasionally reaching into the thousands. Here's an interesting fact. The Buffalo nickel was the first coin to depict an American bison, a creature that once roamed the plains in vast numbers. But by the 1920s, the bison population was at risk of extinction. This coin remains a tribute to a majestic species and the importance of conservation. And a detail about the date. If you find one where the date is readable and clear, you're holding on to something rare. For Buffalo nickels, dates are often worn off after years in circulation. The 1925 Buffalo nickel is more than just a coin. It's a miniature piece of American history. Each one tells the story of the people, the animals, and the spirit of an America that has changed so much since it was minted. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a curious enthusiast, this coin connects us to the rich tapestry of the past. Top 2. Today, we're diving into a piece of American history, the 1934 Buffalo nickel. While this humble 5-cent piece might seem ordinary, it has a lot to tell us about the challenges, artistry, and spirit of America during the 1930s. From the Great Depression to the final years of the iconic Buffalo nickel design, let's explore what makes the 1934 Buffalo nickel a remarkable piece of history and a favorite among collectors. To understand the 1934 Buffalo nickel, we have to travel back to the Great Depression, one of the most challenging periods in American history. By 1934, the The United States was still trying to recover from the economic collapse of 1929. Money was tight, and yet the need for durable currency was still essential. That year, over 56 million nickels were minted to meet the demand, marking the beginning of the final years of the Buffalo nickel series. As America was beginning to see hope through New Deal programs, these nickels would pass through the hands of millions, bringing the art and spirit of the American frontier into everyday life. Designed by James Earl Fraser in 1913, the Buffalo nickel was unlike anything America had seen before. Its design showcased two powerful images: a Native American chief on the obverse and an American bison, or buffalo, on the reverse. Fraser's work was a tribute to Native American heritage and the wild beauty of the American West. The Native American on the obverse is believed to be a composite of several tribal leaders Fraser had met, capturing the strength, dignity, and wisdom of indigenous cultures. The buffalo on the reverse was inspired by Black Diamond, a famous bison from New York's Central Park Zoo, representing the untamed spirit of America. Now let's focus on the specifics of the 1934 Buffalo nickel. This coin was minted in Philadelphia and Denver, with Philadelphia's version having no mint mark and Denver's featuring a small D on the reverse. In total, around 20 million were minted in Philadelphia and 7 million in Denver. The lower mintage from Denver makes those coins a bit rarer, which can affect their value in the collector's market today. As with most Buffalo nickels, the 1934 edition faced the same challenge: a design that wore down quickly. With high-relief details, the date and intricate elements would often wear off or become faint after just a few years in circulation. This problem meant that finding a 1934 Buffalo nickel in excellent condition, with clear dates and details, is a rare and valuable feat today. So, how much is a 1934 Buffalo nickel worth today? For a worn 1934 Philadelphia nickel, the value might start at just a few dollars, but if the coin is in a higher grade, it can reach values of $50 or more. For the scarcer Denver minted coins, values can be even higher, especially in uncirculated or mint state conditions, where they may command hundreds of dollars. Like all coins, the value depends on several factors: the clarity of the date, the presence of the mint mark, and overall preservation. Coins with sharp details, especially in the bison's fur and the chief's features, are highly prized by collectors. Here's an interesting fact about the Buffalo nickel series. It's one of the few U.S. coins that didn't depict liberty, the usual emblem of American coinage. Instead, Fraser's design chose to honor the spirit and diversity of the American West, making this coin a unique artifact from an era when the frontier was still a recent memory. Additionally, 1934 marked one of the last years of production for the Buffalo nickel. In just a few years, in 1938, it would be replaced by the Jefferson nickel, ending this iconic design's run. The 1934 Buffalo nickel isn't just a 5-cent piece. It's a miniature work of art, a slice of American history, and a tribute to the resilience of a country during hard times. From its intricate design to the stories it holds, this coin is a reminder of a past that continues to capture our imaginations. Whether you're an experienced collector or new to the hobby, the 1934 Buffalo nickel is a fascinating piece worth exploring. Top 3. Today, we're delving into one of the most iconic coins of American numismatics, the 1935 Buffalo nickel. This coin captures a spirit, a time, and a place unique to the United States. It's not just a coin. It's a piece of American history. The Buffalo nickel, officially called the Indian head nickel, was designed by sculptor James Earl Fraser in 1913. Fraser wanted to create a coin that represented the American frontier, something that celebrated the spirit of the West and honored the Native American tribes and bison that roamed the plains. And he succeeded. The coin's design is so distinct and timeless that it still feels powerful today. Let's take a closer look at the 1935 Buffalo nickel's design. The obverse features a Native American profile, bold and detailed, with feathers flowing from his headdress. It's said that Fraser used a composite of Native American chiefs for this profile. Though there are many names associated with this face: Chief Irontail, Chief Two Moons, and Chief John Big Tree, Fraser later said he used features from each to represent an idealized Native American figure. This was a respectful homage to indigenous people, but it's also a reminder of the cultural and historical significance of their communities during that time. The reverse side of the buffalo nickel showcases a majestic American bison. Many believe this particular buffalo was inspired by a bison named Black Diamond from the Bronx Zoo in New York City. However, there's a bit of a mystery here. Some argue that the bison is actually an idealized figure rather than a specific animal. Either way, Fraser's choice of a bison was intentional. It's a symbol of strength, resilience, and the wilderness that once defined the American landscape. The 1935 Buffalo nickel holds special significance because of the era it was minted. America was in the midst of the Great Depression, a period marked by severe economic hardship. Money was scarce, and every penny mattered. For many, the Buffalo nickel was a practical necessity. But looking back, it also serves as a symbol of the resilience of the American people during one of the toughest times in history. In 1935, over 58 million Buffalo nickels were struck at the Philadelphia Mint. However, it's interesting to note that this was one of the final years of the Buffalo nickel series, which ended in 1938. Because of this, the 1935 Buffalo nickel is relatively common compared to some earlier years, but it's still a sought-after piece for collectors, especially in higher grades or mint state conditions. Now, here's an interesting fact. Many Buffalo nickels from this period are heavily worn. The high-relief details of the Native American profile and bison caused these coins to wear down quickly in circulation. Finding a 1935 Buffalo nickel with clear details, especially on the bison's horn and the Native American's hair, can be quite a challenge and adds to the coin's value. In terms of value, a heavily circulated 1935 Buffalo nickel might only be worth a few dollars, but coins in mint state condition can fetch significantly higher prices. For instance, a 1935 Buffalo nickel graded MS 65 can be worth hundreds of dollars, depending on market conditions. Full strike details, luster, and an even tone are all elements that impact its value. And for those lucky enough to find a coin with the rare full horn designation, meaning the bison's horn is completely visible and sharply defined, the value can go even higher. That little horn detail is crucial for Buffalo nickel collectors, as it's one of the first features to wear down over time. Here are a few fun facts about the Buffalo nickel. The Buffalo nickel is famous for some interesting errors, like the 1935 double die reverse. These errors can make a 1935 nickel significantly more valuable. Just 3 years after the 1935 Buffalo nickel, the Mint retired the design and replaced it with the Jefferson nickel, which we still use today. The Buffalo nickel is so iconic that it's influenced art, memorabilia, and even the design of the American gold buffalo coins introduced in 2006. Next time you see a buffalo nickel, remember it's not just a coin. It's a reminder of America's frontier spirit, the resilience of its people, and the iconic symbols of its land. Holding a 1935 buffalo nickel is like holding a piece of that history. Top 4. Today, we're diving deep into the story behind a truly iconic coin, the 1936 Buffalo nickel. Known officially as the Indian head nickel, the Buffalo nickel represents a unique period in American history, capturing the rugged beauty of the American frontier on just 5 cents. In 1936, America was still emerging from the Great Depression, and while the economy was slowly recovering, many people still struggled financially. For them, the Buffalo nickel was more than just a coin. It was a vital part of daily life. But for us today, it's a symbol of resilience and a glimpse into a past filled with both hardship and hope. By 1936, the Buffalo nickel had been in circulation for 23 years, and it was already considered a classic. The coin, first issued in 1913, was designed by renowned sculptor James Earl Fraser, who wanted to create a design that celebrated America's heritage and landscape. This coin is a lasting tribute to the people and wildlife that define the American West. Let's start by looking at the obverse side of the 1936 Buffalo nickel. Here, we see the profile of a Native American. This portrait isn't based on a single person, but is actually a composite of several Native American leaders whom Fraser had seen and admired. Chief Irontail, Chief Two Moons, and Chief John Big Tree are all believed to have inspired elements of this design, creating a proud, dignified profile that represents the strength and spirit of Native American tribes. Notice the incredible detail in the hair and headdress, features that unfortunately tend to wear down with time. Finding a Buffalo nickel from 1936 with these features still intact is always exciting for collectors. Turning over to the reverse side, we see the iconic American bison, a symbol of the vast, untamed landscapes of the American West. It's said that this bison was inspired by Black Diamond, a buffalo who lived at the Bronx Zoo in New York City. However, some say the design was simply meant to represent the general spirit of the American bison rather than a specific animal. This symbol holds a deeper meaning, too. By 1936, the American bison was already endangered, a reminder of how much of the natural landscape had been altered or lost. The Buffalo nickel was, in many ways, a celebration of what remained of America's wild past. The 1936 Buffalo nickel was struck in significant numbers, with over 119 million coins minted at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. Here's where things get interesting. The 1936 Buffalo nickel is known for some rare varieties and mint mark distinctions that can increase its value considerably. The Philadelphia mint, which struck the largest quantity, didn't use a mint mark, while the Denver and San Francisco mints used D and S mint marks, respectively, which can be found beneath the 5 cents label on the reverse side. Now, if you're a collector, you'll want to pay attention to the 1936 double die reverse variety. This error occurred when the die shifted slightly during the minting process, causing certain areas on the reverse side, particularly in the 5 cents and United States of America inscriptions, to appear doubled. This variety can be highly valuable, especially in higher grades, making it a prized find for anyone who comes across it. The 1936 Buffalo nickel can vary widely in value depending on its condition. Because of the high relief design, these coins were prone to heavy wear, especially on the high points like the bison's horn and the Native American's headdress. An average circulated 1936 Buffalo nickel might be worth just a few dollars, but coins in higher grades, with sharp details and minimal wear, can command higher prices. A mint state 1936 Buffalo nickel, particularly with a clear strike and lustrous surface, can fetch a substantial premium, especially those with full details on the bison's horn. Here are a few fun facts about the Buffalo nickel and the 1936 issue in particular. 1936 was one of the final years of production for the Buffalo nickel, which would end in 1938 when it was replaced by the Jefferson nickel. The Buffalo nickel was one of the first American coins to feature such realistic, detailed artwork. Fraser's design choices influenced the way coins were made, bringing an era of highly detailed coinage to the U.S. Mint. The Buffalo nickel remains one of the most beloved coins among collectors, partly because it captures a romantic vision of the American West that still resonates today. The 1936 Buffalo nickel is a beautiful piece of history, and each coin has its own story. Whether it's a rare mint mark, an error variety, or simply a well-preserved example, each 1936 Buffalo nickel is a small piece of Americana, a snapshot of a time when coins told stories, represented cultures, and honored the land itself. Top 5. Today, we're diving into one of the final coins of the Buffalo nickel series, the 1937 United States 5-cent piece, known as the Buffalo nickel. By 1937, this coin was already an American classic, embodying the spirit of the American West and the strength of its people. Designed by James Earl Fraser and first issued in 1913, the Buffalo nickel remains one of the most recognizable coins in U.S. history. Each detail of this coin speaks to America's heritage, its landscapes, and its people. The 1930s were a time of transition for the United States. The Great Depression had reshaped daily life, but the economy was beginning to recover. The Buffalo nickel had been a part of American life throughout this challenging period, circulating widely as both a necessity and a piece of national pride. By 1937, many Buffalo nickels showed significant wear, but they were still popular with the public and collectors alike. Let's take a closer look at the design. The obverse, or front side, of the 1937 Buffalo nickel displays the profile of a Native American, a composite of several indigenous leaders. Fraser used this design to honor the Native American tribes, capturing their dignity and strength in this powerful profile. The names of 3 leaders, Chief Irontail, Chief Two Moons, and Chief John Big Tree, are often associated with this image, though Fraser combined features from each to create a symbolic portrait rather than a literal likeness. On the reverse side, we see the American bison, symbolizing the open plains and the untamed wilderness of the West. This bison, widely believed to be inspired by a bull named Black Diamond at the Bronx Zoo, is depicted standing strong and proud. For many, the bison on the Buffalo nickel represents the resilience of the American spirit during hard times, a fitting symbol as the country emerged from the Great Depression. The 1937 Buffalo nickel was struck at three mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint produced the largest number, with over 79 million coins, while Denver and San Francisco struck 17.8 million and 5.6 million coins, respectively. Each of these mint locations adds a slight variation, with the Denver and San Francisco coins marked by a D or S mint mark below the 5 cents on the reverse. The mint mark can significantly impact the coin's value, especially for collectors aiming to complete sets of Buffalo nickels from each mint. Now, here's something truly special. The 1937 Buffalo nickel is famous for one of the most iconic era coins in U.S. numismatics, the three-legged Buffalo nickel. This variety, known as the 1937 D three-legged buffalo, was produced at the Denver Mint and has captivated collectors for decades. So, what's the story behind this error? The three-legged Buffalo nickel was created when a mint worker overpolished a die, accidentally removing the front right leg of the bison. As a result, the bison appears to have only three legs, a unique and visually striking error that makes this coin highly desirable. The three-legged Buffalo nickel can be quite valuable, with prices ranging from several $100s in well-worn condition to several $1,000s in higher grades. It's a must-have for serious collectors of Buffalo nickels and era coins alike. When it comes to the value of a standard 1937 Buffalo nickel, condition plays a major role. Because the coin was heavily circulated, finding one with sharp details on the Native American's profile and the bison's horn can be a challenge. Coins in average circulated condition may be worth a few dollars, but uncirculated examples with clear details and original mint luster can fetch much higher prices. An especially valuable grade to look for is the full horn designation, which means that the bison's horn is well defined. This feature often wears down first, so a clear, full horn can significantly increase the value of a 1937 Buffalo nickel. Here are a few fun facts about the 1937 Buffalo nickel. 1937 was the second to last year of the Buffalo nickel series, which ended in 1938. It was replaced by the Jefferson nickel, designed by Felix Schlag, which is still in circulation. Despite being discontinued, the Buffalo nickel remains one of the most beloved U.S. coins. Its iconic design influenced other coins, such as the American Gold Buffalo, first issued in 2006. The Buffalo nickel was one of the first U.S. coins to feature realistic, detailed artwork. Fraser's design choices paved the way for more artistic and historically significant coinage in the United States. The 1937 Buffalo nickel, whether standard or with the rare three-legged error, is more than just a coin. It's a symbol of America's past, a tribute to its heritage, and a testament to the artistry and history that make coin collecting so fascinating. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the story of the 1937 Buffalo nickel. If you're as captivated by these historic coins as we are, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. We'll see you next time as we explore more stories behind America's most interesting coins.